All right, there, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, thank you very much for joining in for another episode of the Victorious Ones podcast. And of course, once again, this is the place where gaming meets comics, meets sports, meets movies, as well as inspiration. So, of course, um, without further ado, I'm going to go into into this review of Survivor Series War Games. Of course, last week, of course, we just got finished with the Thanksgiving holiday last week. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Had a great time with the family. Had great food, everything like that. And so of course, it's the perfect timing. We were met with a typical Thanksgiving tradition, as we know, Survivor Series. But this time, of course, we get it with a bit of audible called Survivor Series War Games, and of course, and by the way, for those that may be watching, of course, live streaming, go on youtube.com/, at Von Resper Jr. Of course, please make sure to like and subscribe, follow for more content, and of course, for the of course, the social media handles, other handles are right here. But yeah, like I said, as far as this past Saturday, after everybody got finished, with their food and watching the football game, after they got finished with the Black Friday shopping and whatnot, of course, we were treated to none other than a Thanksgiving tradition, Survivor Series, but this time we had it blended with War Games. And so of course, Survivor Series, as we all know, is one of the big four. And I like how under Triple H's new regime, we've got started to experiment with new ideas and things like that. And so and I like how Trips has always been a student of the game, obviously from being a student of the game to the game himself, and how he implemented this this principle when it this concept of war games into WWE. Even though NXT has done war games, but for it to be implemented into the main roster, you know what I mean. So I expected some very big things out of it, and certainly I was not disappointed, to say the least. Now, of course, without further ado, it's time to go into the card. And I like the structure of this card, how you have the women's Survivor Series match start off, and then you have the men's Survivor Series match, to end it. So those are the bookends, because those are the matches that clearly carry the show that night. And so, of course, I'm going to start off with the women's War Games match. You have Team Belair, consisting of the EST, the Raw Women's Champion herself, Bianca Belair, teaming up with Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and the returning Becky Lynch to face off against Team Bailey, which is, of course, consists of Damage Control with Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Of course, Dakota and Io are of course War Games veterans because of NXT, and of course they team up with Nikki Cross and of course Rhea Ripley, aka Riptide. Like I said, that this match is certainly had its more than anything, I was thoroughly impressed with this match. I certainly enjoyed it. Now towards the end, kind of slide a little bit, but at the same time, it certainly had great moments. Obviously, especially with Becky's return, her momentum and everything like that, and also Nikki Cross, with her War Game spot, which was, I did not expect that whatsoever. I mean, in a way, I guess you need to expect some type of like high spot War Games moment, but I didn't really think it was going to come from Nikki. But at the same time, I was like, all right, great. This is definitely going to be the one of, if not the highlight of that match in and of itself. You know what I mean? So of course the EST led like a true captain. You know what I mean? And certainly led her troops to victory. And of course with like I said, with the return of the man. So so of course Becky's gotten rid of the big time Bex characters, so she's gone back to being the man. And of course the winners for that match. Let me start. Of course the winners for this match was Team Belair. And right after that right after that, it's time. Right after that, you certainly need a palate cleanse, if you will. Hold on for a second. Be right back. But anyway, after having a match, as intense as that, now, um, now of course, like one of the main things when it comes to these war games matches is I think it's like after like every 4 minutes, there's a new um, uh, wrestler like at least after about every 4 minutes there's a new entrant that comes into the match. And so when the very last um entrant into this match, the very last participant of the match comes in after they come out of their cage, that's when it's announced, let the war games begin. But the thing is, they've already worn each other out by that point. But but like so overall, overall I definitely enjoyed it, because war games is something, is one of my favorite like it's like wrestling concepts of all time. You know what I mean? So so when the idea of this came, when the idea of this at least when this was announced, I was like, all right, great, sign me up, say no more. You know what I mean? So, so of course, like I said, Team Bel Air. Let me sorry about that. Team Bel Air came out on top of this one, and so the next match, of course, um, after having, as I said, after having such an intense match like that, you need a bit of a palate cleanse, if you will. So this is where we have AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. You know, and it's so like I said, this was a great way to how can I say this? Um, a great way to maintain the fans' attention, if you will. You know what I mean? It's so like I'll say it like this. When it, and the thing about it is that you certainly need like your standard one-on-one match. And so so of course, of course, AJ versus Finn. This is the whole OC versus Judgment Day rivalry. So so what, and of course, what better way to further cement their rivalry than to have a match at the Big Four? And like I said, like I said, overall, like I said, when it came to the quality of this match, um, I certainly enjoyed it. And of course, AJ Styles was the winner by way of pinfall. And so of course, like I said, like I said, that like I said, that like I said, like I said, that match was what like I said, once again was a cleanser, if you will. After going through like I said, after going through an epic match previously, because the thing is, the worst thing you could do is have back-to-back war games matches. So like I said, this match certainly did its job. So like I said, certainly enjoyed it. I was impressed. Now the next match, you know, I always say this: if there was a one guy to, if I'll say it like this, if like I said, I'll say it like this: if there's a one guy to go, um, this match would certainly have to go. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but I would say that universally, this was a match that was the least respected, the least enjoying, and of course that is none other than the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. What I mean, like if anything, that this was sort of like like the down moment of this entire event, or PLE, Premium Live Event. I'm so used to calling it a pay-per-view. But not much to really like write off, if you will. It was I would say like it was a combination of Ronda's lack of leadership in a match, not being able to be a ring general and make everybody around her better, combined with Shotzi's inexperience. And plus, shout out to Ben from the Public Enemies podcast when he said that fans hated Charlotte so much, that they got what that they got what they wanted. Charlotte's not there. Instead, they get Shotzi, and this is what we get. You know what I mean? Um, you know, fans, like I said, the thing is, like I said, fans had so much of a disdain for Charlotte. They didn't like Liv Morgan. So the next runner-up, Shotzi, and look at what you get. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, Ronda herself is not exactly someone that's gonna like hold somebody hold somebody by the hand. You know what I mean? And so like and really elevate them and bring the best out of them. And you know what I mean? And so she's and the thing is just like with Ronda's if you've seen one Ronda match, you've just about seen them all. And it's like it's like on one end, you're glad that Shotzi gets a shot, pun intended maybe, but at the same time it just goes to show how depleted the SmackDown women's roster is, and it just gives you a great appreciation of the four horsewomen, of Asuka, Bianca, you know what I mean, like those that have consistently carried the torch, carried the mantle of the women's division, and so it's just like, you don't exactly have the most Hall of Fame lineup on the SmackDown women's side. And this match obviously showed, once again, this is a match. If we play one guy to go, this one would definitely go. If it had that Men in Black pin that erase your memory, I wish that I could use that for this match as if it never happened. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't really say that too often. I try to be as enthusiastic and as optimistic as I can possibly be on this podcast. That's what I built my brand on. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just like, it's just like, what? It's not too much to really say about this. But I will say that, at least when it comes to Ronda's title reign, I would say the feud that would like rejuvenate or reinvigorate this reign would be a match with Shayna Baszler. So if you're looking for the most formidable opponent that Ronda can have right now, it would be Shayna. The most formidable, most believable opponent that she could have, because the fact that Shayna is one of the top two longest reigning NXT women's champions of all time. And given the right environment, Shayna can certainly thrive. She can deliver. Case in point, look at when she had, when she had the tag titles. When she had the tag titles with Nia Jax. I jokingly say that Shayna not only carried the tag team, but she might as well have carried Nia out the door. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I say, if given the best environment, Shayna would certainly thrive, and this would be the best environment going against Ronda and putting everybody out of the misery and just relinquishing that title from her. So Ronda's pretty much getting X-Pac / Goldberg kind of heat right now. And it's not looking great. And you know what I mean? And the thing is, I'm not calling for Ronda's head, but this Fire Ronda Rousey hashtag is pretty much like taking on a whole new life in and of itself. So it's just that, once again, like I said, once again, not too much, to really like write home about when it comes to this. So that's it. Wasted way too much time on that. But next up is the triple threat match for the U.S. title. Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Of course, Seth is the champion. Like I said, this match was absolutely amazing. It was, like I say, it served its purpose. It did what it had to do. You know what I mean? And and so but at the same time, the ending of it was certainly the biggest surprise for me, because I didn't expect Theory, of all people, to become the U.S. champion, especially considering that Seth was only the champ for like 3 weeks. So it's just like, I mean, if you were gonna do some type of like long term booking thing, it's just like, it's like, what was the point of you know of Seth being being the champion for only 3 weeks, if you weren't really going to do much with him. If anything, I would have given the title back to Bobby, because as a champ, he's definitely moved the needle, in many different ways. So it's just like, how is it that Theory fails to cash in on Rollins, but yet he ends up winning this, he ends up winning this triple threat match. So it's just like, whatever, like, if anything, it was certainly much better than the match before it. So, if anything, that's all I have to say about that. Now, moving on to the finale, moving on to the main event. Of course, you have the bloodline, consisting of the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, along with Sami Zayn, Solo, and the longest reigning tag team champions, the Usos, along with their with their wise man Paul Heyman, going up against the brawling brutes of Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch/Pete Dunne, along with Drew McIntyre and the Canadian Dream Kevin Owens. So of course, this was the men's war game match, the finale. And and it just goes, this is a testament to the Bloodline's greatness. This is a testament to the fact that they have consistently carried SmackDown and really just WWE when it comes to a storyline standpoint. And like I said, this match did not disappoint. I actually picked the Bloodline to win, but I wasn't too sure who would be the MVP. And another great thing I like about this match, of obviously the aesthetics of them wearing all red. You know what I mean? And side note, Bobby Fish is a complete clown and a fool to say that, to say that the Bloodline imitated Undisputed Era, when first and foremost, Roman by himself will absolutely clear the Undisputed Era. So let's not even go there. You know what I mean? But the match was absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely amazing. That Jey Uso turned over a new leaf when it came to the way he felt about Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? And and like saying, and the way that Jey just had an absolute change of heart. I also like how Roman was sitting in the cage as the last entrant. You know what I mean? And of course, I share this meme, and people apparently, don't really understand the context of it. How, and the things, how I've compared Roman to Shere Khan from the Jungle Book, when he was, when he was going through the jungle and looking for looking for his prey. In that case, Mowgli, pretty much, really. And so the thing about it is that Roman shows that he is not only a warrior, or at least he's gone from being a warrior to now he's the general. He's the guy that fights when necessary, when you're at the very last resort. You know what I mean? So that's who Roman has become. And like I said, and just how Roman has set the table for others to be fed off of, how he set the table for his cousins to be fed, to the point where now they have broken New Day's record. How he has set the table for Solo, how he has set the table for Sammy. So Sammy has had some of his very best character work really ever at this rate. You know what I mean? And this is way better than than Sammy being some weird like conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. And the way that Sammy came through in the clutch, and gave KO that low blow, to secure his allegiance to the bloodline. Because let's be honest, if the tables were turned, KO would have done the same thing, So Sammy's going all out. He has sold himself to the bloodline. He's pledged his undying allegiance to the bloodline. And to see that play out, to see him, do what he did to his longtime quote unquote best friend, slash rival, the guy that he would fight forever with, to see him do that and to just show that he would do any and everything for the bloodline. He would take a bullet for them, if you will. And also, let's not forget, Kevin actually did this, if anything, Kevin was the original backstabber of Sammy, like Sammy back in NXT. After Sammy became the NXT champion, and the way that KO, attacked him after the match and hit him, and of course him with the, of course, let me slow down, and of course hit him with that power bomb on the apron and things like that, and for Sammy to continuously be seen as almost like the second fiddle to KO. It got to a point where, you could very much say that he was fed up with it, and there are people like that who just get to that point. And in this case, it was Sammy. And so, and of course, of course, they all, they all stood in solidarity, I mean, and in a sense that, it just goes to show that, continue to show the bloodline's dominance and supremacy and how they're continuously moving up the all-time ranks when it comes to factions, and of course on my list I had them at number 8. At this rate, I might have to put them past, let's say, the Heart Foundation for like number 7. And who knows, they could even be possibly be moved past maybe Evolution at this point. Who knows? But it's just that like I say, this bloodline thing is like the Godfather. It's like, like some type of like opera story, or what I mean, like it just it's always compelling no matter what. It is the biggest compelling storyline, of WWE right now. In fact, I'm considering if anything, I'm considering going to Raw next week in my Bloodline gear, my bloodline shirt and hoodie. You know what I mean? So and also I'm considering getting one of those red We the Ones shirts. I was like, man, like I said, the color coordination was absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? And of course, like I say, like I said, the bloodline are collectively the MVPs when it comes to WWE. So now it is time for me to name my top 10 Survivor Series matches. So at number 10, so of course at number 10, I'm gonna go with Survivor Series 1991. Of course that night we had what was it? Of course that night was Team Piper versus Team Flair. But of course the big thing for me was the fact that Undertaker, I got to include him when it comes to Survivor Series, since I'm wearing his shirt right now, for those that are watching, that was the same night that he defeated Toxic Terry Bollea, or HH, if you will, to become the WWF champion for the first time. At number 9, I'm going to go with Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels from the 1992 Survivor Series. At number 8, I'm going to go with the 1987 Survivor Series, the original. We had Team Andre versus Team HH. And just to have that many names together for that elimination match, and like I said, it was absolutely amazing. It was the innovative match. That was the one that really opened up the floodgates when it came to Survivor Series. So that's number 8. And number 7, I have the triple threat WWE title match from Survivor Series 2009. It was John Cena versus DX. So of course, So of course that's number 7. At number 6, I have Team Raw versus Team SmackDown from Survivor Series 2016. At number 5, I have the Shield versus the New Day from Survivor Series 2017. I pretty much went along with these as I go. So of course at number 4, I actually have Team Austin versus Team Bischoff from Survivor Series 2003, and that was absolutely amazing match. Shawn Michaels gave one of the ultimate performances of a lifetime of his career. You know what I mean, and how he fought through all that. No matter what. Um, Busted open, bloodied everything. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes to show like a testament of Shawn Michaels' greatness once again. So of course, like I said, and that was 2003. Team Bischoff ended up winning. You know what I mean? So of course, like I said, that was number 4. And number 3, I have Bret Hart versus Stone Cold from Survivor Series 1996, the first match that they ever had together. At number 2, I have the very first Elimination Chamber from Survivor Series 2002, the HBK 1. And number 1, I have Team WWF versus Team Alliance from Survivor Series 2001. Winner take all, plain and simple. Now, when it comes to honorable mentions, this year's WarGames is definitely among my honorable mentions, along with Survivor Series 2014 as well. So that's where I have it. Between that like 11 to 12 spot, I guess it's pretty high, whatever. But mainly because of the men's WarGames match. So that's what that is. Now, when it comes to belt grades, I would give this Survivor Series a 3.5 out of 5. Ruthless Aggression WWE Undisputed Championship belts. So that's my belt grade. And, those are my thoughts on Survivor Series. Thank you very much.